Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles. I am delighted to be virtually here with Fernanda. It's lovely to have you from our fantastic program that we had and celebrate her amazing film, Undocumented. For those that haven't seen it, let's take a good clip.
What? Do you really think it's a good idea for her to fly by herself?
Of course I don't, but no podemos hacer nada. Yo no puedo hacer nada.
Mami, Catalina nos necesita. Nos vemos en 2 días. It's okay. It's okay.
Fernanda, I'm so happy. I'm so happy to be with you. I'm sorry it can't be in person. I loved your film so much. I want to give you a big hug because that's how wonderful and important your film is.
Thank you so much.
But for those that haven't seen it, tell us a brief synopsis of your film.
Yeah, so the film is about Gomez family that after a phone call that they have that their daughter in New York had an accident while they live in Los Angeles. They try to figure out how to go to New York in a fast and safe way, considering they're undocumented. So taking a plane is not an easy task for them. Mm-hmm. So it's basically about the journey of this family in a day to figure out a way to go there.
This is such a horrible situation, you know, it really is. Like I was in pain just feeling their pain, you know, mm-hmm. Just watching it. And I think that I'm so happy, Fernanda, you made this film, because this is just one example which shows the trials and the struggles and tribulations of just living for someone that is undocumented. And, you know, and it's so unfair. There's so many unfair things that are set against people that are undocumented. And I love that you put this in focus of a story of just a regular family, just trying to do the right thing for their family, you know? And I'm so happy that you shone a light on this family because, as you probably know, this is one of many different examples that people have to go through. For you personally, where did the inspiration come for you in deciding to make this particular project and this particular story?
Yeah, so the inspiration comes from my mom's story. While I was 4 years old, we are from Chile. She started working in New York. Actually, I went to New York with her for a year and a half. Mm-hmm. But since she got another job, it was really hard for her to keep me and my grandma living with her. Uh-huh. So she decided to just like send us back to Chile while she would work here. Mm-hmm. So basically, since I was 4 until 9 years old, I would see my mom just 4 months every year. And then when I was 9, she came here and she decided to stay for a whole year. And that meant that her type of visa would be, she would like pass the time.
Yeah.
So get like undocumented and have a lot of troubles.
Yeah.
In that year, because of economic situation and all that, turned out to be 4 years. So between 9 and 13, I wasn't with her, and I'm her only child. And it was painful for me, but I can't even imagine how it was for her to be in a country that she doesn't speak the language.
Yeah.
That she just like works. There were months that she would just have 1 day off.
Oh.
And all for me, because she wanted to give me a better future. I mean, I'm the first, like we are with my cousins, we're the first generation that go to college.
Yeah.
Before that, like my mom, my aunt, nobody went to college. Mm-hmm. So she was just doing something for her family.
Yeah.
And I feel like taking that, I feel like coming here, I saw a lot of people that sometimes they missed the point why most of the immigrants come to this country.
Yeah.
And it's not because they just want to leave their family.
Yeah.
And they came here because the amount of money that you make here an hour working in anything, mm-hmm. it's 10 times more than working in an office 45 hours in Chile.
Yeah.
So that's why people do it. I mean, I know that there's other people that they just come here because they want to, but I'm talking about like from the most part, from like the working part, they do it because they want a better future. So that's kind of like the inspiration came. And then I have my cousin's family that he's from Chile, his wife too. They got here and they had 2 daughters. So they are Americans, but they are still undocumented.
Yeah.
So
I love that you made this. I honestly, this
yeah,
is, I mean, I'm lucky to have great friends from Chile, in the United
that's
States.
good.
It's wonderful. But that is exactly why your film was so important. And it really disheartens me sometimes when people don't educate themselves enough to know that families are just doing it just to give their children a better life,
Yeah.
better opportunity. And wouldn't you do the same for your family? Wouldn't anyone want to do the same for their family? And so I just think that your story and anyways, blessings to your mom, for goodness sake. Your
She's the
mom
best.
obviously
She's the
loves
best.
you, adores you, and literally, did so much sacrifice to give you a better life.
She did.
And such a wonderful example. And that's what's so hard, is that there's so many loving families that sacrifice just to give their children a better world and a better life. And like, how can we make life so complicated with visas? It's ridiculous. Like, it's ridiculous. We've got plenty of space here. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. So I'm so glad that you made it, because I think your film will shine through for people that can maybe feel something from it personally, but also educate others as well. And was that something you wanted to do on both circumstances?
My idea with the whole film was I want to put into perspective something that can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter like where are you from, it can happen to anyone, that someone can be in an accident.
Yeah.
But my idea here was like, okay, let's show something that can happen to anyone, but to an undocumented family, how they live that.
Yeah.
And how unfair it is. It's kind of like almost like a human right to have the chance to see your daughter or your family member if they are like suffering, but you can't because you don't have the documents, because you can just like, and this is something that I study. I did a lot of research for the film, and I saw that literally trouble, if you're undocumented, it depends on the odds of that day, because you have like 33% that you can just like fly. There's the other 33% that they can tell you, hey, you can't fly, so just go home. But then there's the other part, the other 33% that they can tell you, you're detained.
Yeah.
And it's random. And
it's horrible.
And that is what happens. And also going by car, this is also a research. There's this 100-mile border zone that I didn't know what was it. But basically all around the US, there's this 100-mile border zone that the federals can just like check your car, check everything without a warrant, just because they suspect that something is happening with you. So imagine, in California and New York, or especially New York, is under that 100-mile border zone.
Yeah.
So not even by car is something that you can do like, oh yeah, let's do this. But it also took 2 days if you don't stop.
Yeah. The thing is that, I mean, goodness me, this subject is such an important one, and one that I think consistently in this country need educating, understanding those kind of things that certain people, certain families randomly have to go through, which is horrible. And it's a horrible feeling to make you feel so insecure and feel like you've done something wrong when really you haven't. You just try to live a better world and a better life for your family. That's all it is. That's all it is. And I'm sorry we're getting so into this. The story is so important, but I'm not forgetting what a fantastic filmmaker you are, in articulating this story. You should be very proud of the story that you're sharing with the world. I'm so curious. You had a really wonderful cast of people. I really felt everything that they were going through, and they articulated so well. How do you bring your cast together? And when you're, as a director, making something that's so personal to you, how do you work with your actors in that way as well?
So the cast, for me, the main thing is like, I'm not just casting for a character, I'm casting for a family.
Yeah, I love
And
that.
that was hard because there's so many things that I have to like consider to have like this family made. And then I had like 2 days of casting, then some callbacks, and I just, for me, it just clicked, and I'm like, I can totally make a family out of them three.
Oh,
They
wow.
actually went like different days, like they never met before, and I'm like, okay, I want them. Let's have like a coffee meeting with them, but not just to talk about the project, to talk about ourselves, to get to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
So we met, we have like coffee, the four of us, and we just get to know each other. And then the first day of like on set, I mean, sorry, there was like some days that we have to take a lot of family pictures.
Yeah.
And in that day, they would just like, I wouldn't have to be there, and they would just like talk. Um, Carolina, that did the mom, she was like so loving with Victoria, that is the
Yeah.
daughter. It was just like, after I saw them like just getting to know each other, I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is my family. I needed.
Oh, that
And
must
then
be a really good feeling.
it was amazing because again, like I've never been in the position to create a family. I was always thinking, I need this character, I need them, and then they were not work together. But now from the beginning, it was like in the cast, I would be like, I like her, but I don't think she fits in the family that I already have the dad, for example.
Mm-hmm,
So I'm
mm-hmm.
like, how do I make this work? So
And I love particularly your obviously younger character who was wonderful.
yes,
She's great, and I love that she kind of had, she was asking those questions.
yes,
That she was typically at that age where you're like, so what's like, tell me about this. What's going on? Like, I need
yeah,
to know. Like, I'm worried. I'm not.
yes,
And because I think that was an important way for just to kind of
mhm,
articulate that it does affect these young people in so many different
yeah,
ways, and the idea of losing their family is a horrible,
yeah.
disastrous thing. And so I love that you gave her those sort of, she was asking those questions too, as hard as
I
it was.
yeah, in this family also they have like their own personality, and of course, I mean, it for me, I can see it super like clearly how the mom was like having like all of these like inner thoughts, and then the daughter is the one that is like, I want to help, but I
Yeah,
need to know why. And then the
yeah,
dad is like the rational person, and they all change during the film, but at the same time it's like, okay, they have their own personalities,
mhm,
but they also have something in common, and is that they love each other way too much,
yeah,
and I can't lose focus of
yeah,
that.
yeah. I think one of the things that was amazing too was just that, you put it in a position where the audience, like, you know, can you imagine what you would have to do if you had to go through that yourself? And I think
Mhm.
it's so important, particularly this story, it's such a prominent story in America today, to really, really allow a person watching this to put themselves in the shoes of somebody else and what they may have to go through. Was that kind of something that was important to you? Not just people that can relate, but people that actually can understand this situation, how difficult it would be for as a family as well.
So yeah, my main goal with this film was to be to people be um, more like on the shoes of someone, that like to
Yeah.
not feel related, because not everyone is in this situation, but to see from other perspective
Yeah, exactly.
the undocumented people's reality.
Yeah.
And for me that was like, to know that my film got into some festivals where people that I don't know, that they are, I don't even know where they are from,
Yeah.
that they got to see this film, to see this perspective. For me, it's like, that's what I wanted with this film. It's just
No.
like to let them know that it's not everything about jobs and deportation. It's sometimes something even more basic. It's sometimes just like the feeling of what is going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
And for me that was everything that I wanted to do. It's like, let's show them something that uh with an accident, with something with the family, even right now with the coronavirus, that you can travel to some countries, that you can see your family, is the same. And now you can also feel related, not being undocumented. But what I'm trying to show here is like this feeling is something that they have every single day.
Right. And you know, to go even further as well, you know, everybody, no matter what you are, where you're from, should be entitled to healthcare. And that's a whole nother thing as well, that you know, everyone deserves the right to have, you know, good healthcare, and that's something else. What is it like? I mean, listen, you obviously from the wonderful New York Film Academy, you're starting your career, having your film with us at New Filmmakers in partnership with the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. Like, how's the experience been in releasing your film, sharing it with great audiences? What's that been like for you as a filmmaker?
I couldn't believe it. I was like, okay, so this is my intermediate film. And when I say it's just my intermediate film, it means that in half of my process of like got my grad degree. And it also means that even in the school, I have so much more to learn. I have so much more, and well, that's in life, but I have so much more to grow and all of that. And to get my film, just like in the half of this process, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. And besides that, I mentioned this in the Q&A that we had, is that last year I went to the New Filmmakers, the Latinx focus again last year to the event. I went there and I saw these films and I saw these panels and I saw like all the filmmakers talking with the audience. And I just thought, one day I'm gonna be here.
Wow.
I swear, last year
I got goosebumps all down me. That was beautiful.
I told myself like one day I'm gonna be here.
Yes.
But I never thought that day would be this year, like literally the next event.
Wow.
So
when you apply your mind and look what you did, I mean, that's amazing, Fernanda, and deserved.
It is crazy, and thank you so much. But again, it was just like, it was something, sometimes I think that a lot of people can relate with this, but super personal. I'm always overthinking, like, I can do this better. I can do this better. Probably this is not enough. And I'm always like pushing myself. And there's not so many times that I just stop and I say, wow, I'm proud of myself.
Yeah.
And when I got into this festival, I just had a moment where I'm like, I'm so proud of myself right now.
Good. Yes. I love hearing that.
It was, and being like presented like with the Academy, my mind was like, okay, I don't think I can with all these feelings.
Well, it is deserved, and I'm so glad, that, you know, it's so important to acknowledge yourself when you're reaching these heights and accolades, and it's amazing to have this as a huge confidence for, you know, all that lies for you in the future, because you're doing it already and you're already getting recognized, and you know, we're very proud of you too, Fernanda, and well deserved, and lots more to come. What are you working on next?
So yeah, right now I'm working on my thesis film. Everything has something to do with something personal. Yes. But basically it's about kind of like a cathartic short film where this woman, her name is Autumn, has like a deep conversation with a little girl. And this little girl keep like asking her about like her life and her decisions, because she's like a really unhappy woman, but unhappy with herself. So in flashbacks, we see how she has been in a relationship for 10 years with another girl. Her name is Mila. But because they went to moving together and all of the adult stuff that you have to take care of and pay bills, at some point she had to stop studying what she wanted to do, just to work. So in the process of doing that, she lost herself. And she's just like, so this little girl is like, but why did you stop? but why don't you try again? Why you are losing your relationship if you love her? Wow. And to the end, we realized that this little girl is actually herself. So she's a conversation that she's having with herself. So that's
I love your storytelling, Fernanda. That's amazing. You've always got really good stories. This is great. Well, please keep making more movies for us. We need you.
I of course, that's what I am here for.
No, honestly, I'm so you know, it's so wonderful that you can share this, and you know, a big thank you to your mom, you know, which helped you articulate a story, and you know, everybody should see Undocumented, because
thank you so much.
It's a really special and important story, and so I'm very grateful that you made it happen, and you know, took that heart and put it into a film. So we thank you, Fernanda. We thank you for Undocumented.
Thank you so
keep
much.
flooding us with more movies forever, please, and we'll be very happy.
Of course, I will continue. Yes, Undocumented. It's amazing. It's my baby, and from here now on, just like keep doing what I'm doing. It's what I love. So
yes, it's what you're good at.
Thank you. Thank you.